So this video is part 4 of my analysis of one of the interviews done by Jennifer Soto while Maddie Soto was missing. This was meant to be a 2-part series, but it kind of stretched out because there were so many inconsistencies in Jennifer Soto's statements. There's so many things that to me were red flags. If you haven't watched the first 3 of these, I'll add the link to these underneath. I'll also add the link to my Madeline Soto playlist, which is now starting to become quite long. So please do go and watch them and leave comments so that I can get my channel seen by more people and get these videos seen and into the algorithm. Now I do need to do a huge shout out to Grizzly True Crime. Thank you, Grizzly, for getting the audio that we're all using now. So for doing the FOIA request, spending the money and getting the audio, which we are all now making use of on our own channels. It is greatly appreciated. For a small channel like mine, something like that is just out of reach unless a bigger channel is prepared to get something like the audio and share it. So huge shout out and thank you to Grizzly. And if you do want to watch this interview or other interviews without interruptions, they are available on Grizzly's channel. So let's jump in and have a look at the final portion of this interview with Jenn Soto.
Were you guys, when you guys were looking for her, did you guys keep looking for her in the Hunters Creek area or somewhere else?
Hunters Creek area.
Okay. Did you guys come back here at any point?
No.
What time did you guys come back home?
Hold on a second. That's what I was trying. What time did we come back? What time did we come back? That was a very good question. I was gonna say it was like somewhere between 8 and 9 o'clock p.m.
Did you guys go back out after that?
Stefan went back out.
So I'll address the Stefan went back out bit in a minute. But what we have here is the detective has asked her, did you search? Where did you search? Was it this particular area? She said yes. And then she's questioned her, what time did you get back home? You had that long pause. And I think that is possibly because Jenn is processing shit. I've just said that we searched. But earlier I said that we went straight home from the police interviews, like after the police left the office. So then she says, well, we got home between about 8 and 9 o'clock. So her timeline's not fitting very well at all there. She's saying police arrived at the parents' office at around 7:30. So it would have well and truly been after 8 that they finished with her. But basically what we can ascertain from this is that they definitely went straight home from talking with the police. They didn't go out searching again. So her claims of going searching in this area are bullshit because there's no room in the timeline for her to have done so. And the police officer is obviously onto this. And she says, basically, after you got home, did you go out again? And Jenn obviously is affirming that she didn't go back out again. But she says, yes, Stefan did. And we know that somebody did go back out again at 3 o'clock in the morning in Jenn's car. Not in Stefan's car, in Jenn's car. I have an issue with this and I'll get back to that later on.
And this was last night, right?
Yes.
Okay. Where was after this?
With me.
Okay. Did you leave the house at any point with her phone after this?
So the redactions probably caused some confusion there, but it seems clear that the question was, where was Maddie's phone during all this? And Jenn is saying that she kept the phone, so it was with her. I find it super interesting that on one hand she's saying that a police officer showed her how to check Maddie's deleted messages, but then she's still got the phone. So why didn't they take Maddie's phone when they were at the office? I would have thought that would be standard protocol. I know that in the Delphi case, I think it was Becky went back to the house while everyone was searching for the girls and got Libby's devices and handed them over to law enforcement in the hopes that that would help them find the girls. And I gather that was probably Becky doing it at her own, with her own initiative. But I would have thought it would be fairly standard these days if a child is missing, that the first thing you do would be to request the device and that you download the entire device so you can try and use that to find the child.
Don't believe so, no.
Okay.
Hold on. No, I think it's been home all day today, too.
It's been home all day today?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
What time did the police take her phone?
Oh, just kidding. Yeah, they took it. I don't have it anymore.
Okay, what's going on there with her saying, just kidding, I don't have it anymore? I just find that a really, really odd thing to say. They took her phone, okay? So wouldn't you then turn around and go, oh, right, yeah, I'd forgot that. Yeah, the phone was with me until they took it. No, I don't have it anymore. Not just kidding. To me, that calls into question the rest of what she was saying about the phone. Did she have the phone the whole time? Or did perhaps Stearns take the phone and maybe delete things off the phone? Or search it for anything incriminating? Was the phone with her the whole time? Was it at the house the whole time? Because by throwing in that just kidding, it sounds like she's been caught out here in a bit of a lie. She's been trying to put a narrative forward, and then the officer has been like, yeah, but when was the phone picked up? And she's forgotten. And instead of saying, I forgot about that, she's going, just kidding. That is really, really odd.
And I've made so many phone calls today and seen so many people today that I
Was it
don't
light
know.
out or dark out?
It was light out.
It was still
Detective
light.
Hunt still yeah, it was during the
Okay.
daytime.
And then but other than that, her phone was here all day.
In the morning, yes.
Did you guys take the phone anywhere other than when Detective Hunt took the phone?
Why is that such a hard question to answer? She's taking so long. She blames her medications and says that she's a bit hazy. But the issue I have with that is that she's really quick with some responses, and then there are some when for some reason she really stops and takes her time coming up with an answer. And I wonder if this is because she's hiding something here. She's being less than truthful. Maybe she is just screwed in the head. Who knows? But to me, it just seems suspicious. Something that should be a straightforward answer. She claims that, according to what she's saying here, they went straight home after speaking to the police the night before they stayed home, aside from Stearns heading out at 3 a.m. in the morning, if it was Stearns, and did not leave the house again until this Hunt came and took the phone. So it should be a no-brainer. Was the phone here with you the whole time? Yes, we haven't been anywhere. How hard is that?
I think it's been home all day. I don't think I left the house with him.
Okay. Did Stefan have access to the phone?
I have serious issues with this whole section of the interview. According to her narrative, she hasn't left the house at all. But here she's saying the phone was at home. I don't think I left the house with it. Which to me implies that she did leave the house at some point in time, even though she's claiming that she didn't. So when did she leave the house that she's not actually telling them about? Because that single statement implies that she did leave the house at some point in time. Now, the other thing that is concerning here, did Stefan have access to the phone? There is a very, very long pause. To me, I think the answer there is a yes.
I'm sorry, I took my medicine, so I feel a little species.
Okay, I'll call bullshit here. Like I said, I get that she takes her medicines and that maybe she is a bit of an airhead. But she is doing her best here to avoid a question that could be quite incriminating towards Stearns. This to me is evasion. I believe that Stearns did have access to Maddie's phone. She knows Stearns had access to Maddie's phone. She doesn't want to admit that to investigators. And the only way that she can get away with not admitting it to investigators is to turn around and say, oh, I'm spacey because of my medications. In other words, I'm not going to answer that question.
I think I've had it with me. I think it's been with me.
Again, something that she should know for certain. Either it was with you or it wasn't. Not I think I had it with me. That, to me, is evasion. I think, to me, what I can infer from what's going on here is that Stearns did have access to that phone at some point, and that perhaps he did delete things from that phone.
Okay. Did you go through her phone today?
Yes.
Okay. Where was that at?
Here.
And what were you looking for at that time?
To see if there was anything else. What we couldn't access on Monday night was Roblox. So my niece came over and logged into her Roblox and checked out messages. But then they were also, my sister was also looking for her phone to see if there was anything.
Here at the house?
Yes.
And that was today?
Yes.
So aside from saying that, yeah, we looked at the phone again today, she's also admitting that she did look at it the night before, when she claims that she was too distressed to look at the phone. Because she's saying, you know, my niece came over and we looked at the things that we couldn't get into the night before. So she's confirming that she did actually look at things on that phone during the period of time that she claims to have been too distressed to do so.
Okay, do you guys have her account information as far as like her iCloud and all that stuff? Or is it just on her phone?
I've had a hard time logging into it before when I was trying to get her a new phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if I can log in to her iCloud. But I think it's all on her phone.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is because so like they took the phone and they downloaded it, right?
Uh-huh.
they can see like if somebody tries to access her accounts and stuff like that. So if you guys do have access to anything,
yeah,
if you guys can refrain from like logging back in.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
So it doesn't look like she if she tries to like access her accounts from like somewhere else, that way we can track that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So they're asking if you can, just try not logging into any more of her accounts so that when he's going through the phone, it doesn't look like she's trying to log on from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay. Was there anything else that they wanted us to clarify?
Did you find the address to your...
Sorry, let me call her again.
Or what's the name of it?
Oh, if I could remember her business name, I don't know.
What kind of business is it?
It's an insurance business. I think Advanced Insurance something group.
And then I know that you've been with us for the most part of the day, right?
Yes.
We have, I want to say maybe like 40 people out here, okay? Between us and Kissimmee. And we're all, going to be working basically overnight and throughout the day tomorrow until we, okay? Tonight, what we're going to do is, I know we already secured your house, right? We asked everybody to leave. So, another thing that I'm going to ask is if you guys can find somewhere else to stay for the night, because we're going to have Kissimmee out here at your apartment for the rest of the night, because the people that come and like take pictures and all that other stuff are not going to respond until the morning. Okay, so nobody can go into the house for the rest of the night until the house gets, we need to take pictures and do other stuff with the house. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
And unfortunately, because you guys have such a big apartment, it's not something that only one person does. Like, we don't do that, right? We have our forensics unit come out. And it's not something that one person can do by herself. So she has to wait until people come in, because they're on call after midnight, right? So she has to wait for the other people to come in the morning, and then they're all going to come in as a unit and try to get it done as quick as possible.
Okay. I need to go back into the house.
Mm-hmm.
I have medication that I have to take in order to be like normal. Is there a possibility that I can go back in there and get my meds?
Yes. Give me a few minutes, and then we'll try to figure out how we can get your medication, okay? But that's something that we can definitely get, okay?
People have criticised her for being fixated on needing to get back in the house to get her meds. But I think if you're someone who relies on meds for certain things, you would understand how much anxiety that would cause someone to think that they can't access the meds that allow them to function like a normal person. So I don't see that as being an issue. Note here, the police officer has not denied the request. They can't deny the request, but she's also made it clear that we'll organise those for you. So they're not going to allow them back in the house. An officer would have gone into the house and got those meds for Jenn Soto.
Does it make sense what I'm telling you?
Yes. I just don't know what we're going to do about finding a place to go, but okay.
And on one hand, I don't find that reaction to be anything out of the norm either. If you've suddenly been told you can't go back into your house at all, the prospect of suddenly having nowhere to go overnight could be quite alarming. You haven't had time to fully process. So that's something that she's said without having time to process. I don't know why. Well, I guess because her parents don't like Stearns. So she wouldn't go to her mother's place because of Stearns. So I guess that's why they ended up in a hotel. So I guess there was probably a bit of anxiety there, knowing that her family didn't like Stearns. so they wouldn't be welcome there. But I don't think there is anything, any kind of red flag in her reaction right there.
And then because lost in Stefan's car, we're also going to tow his car.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I think that the way she's so breathy there, and the way she keeps saying okay, is her suddenly realising, oh, shit's just got real here. So I think that if at this point in time, if she does have guilty knowledge, I think she realises now that they're in trouble. She's just been told that we're sealing the house and we're going to go through the house with a fine tooth comb. You're not allowed in the house until our forensics team has been right through the house. And by the way, we're taking Stearns' car because that was the last vehicle that Maddie was supposedly in. So there is definitely some kind of realisation suddenly happening here with Jen. Whether it is, let's say, if she is innocent and she knows nothing, perhaps it is a realisation that they are looking seriously at Stearns. Or if she does have guilty knowledge, then it's a realisation that, oh shit, they don't believe our story.
Do you have any questions about anything that I'm telling you? Okay, so from now on, it'll probably be me getting in touch with you, okay? Not Detective Hunt. Okay?
Okay.
Do you understand everything that we discussed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I get your direct number?
Yes.
Mom's job address, if I remember it correctly, is 13550 Village Park Lane, Suite 125.
Okay.
In Orlando, Florida.
That's in
Hunters Creek.
Hunters Creek, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Village Park Drive, you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
And 13550.
Yes.
Is that like an apartment complex?
It's a business building? I don't know. It's a building with a lot of business and offices inside.
And when did you say you were there?
I got there around 4. Well, see, I left and came back. So 4:45. I got there, and I stayed until they had left.
Were you there today?
No.
Is there one would be anywhere near that area today?
No, I don't think so. It's been with me. Oh, Detective Hunt went back to that office. I'm so sorry, and he had her phone.
Okay, he had her phone at that time.
Yeah.
Why did he go back to that office?
Because my uncle had walked the path along the trail, and he had found the wallet with not 90, but like credit cards and something that had somebody's state on it. So he went to pick it up to see if it was of any interest.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give you my business card. I'm still here for a little bit longer. I'm going to talk to Stefan one more time. There was like a few things that we needed to clarify with him. And then we're going to, like me physically, after I get done talking to Stefan, I'm going to try to go get rest, right? Because we're going to continue to do all this.
Yeah.
There's other detectives that are coming from my unit, okay? So, like, there's always going to be somebody here.
Okay.
So just because I physically am not here, don't think that we're not physically working on this. We have a lot of people in our unit, right? So we're taking, like, shifts. And then the people we have violent crimes out here as well. And they're here till 4 in the morning. So I don't want you to think that, like, just because I'm leaving, that we're not still actively working on this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, they...
She's just said that we've also got people from violent crimes on this. And then she asks her, does that make sense? And she's like, yeah. Wouldn't you have a reaction? Your child is missing, and now they're saying you've got someone from the sexual assault unit. You've got the entire sexual assault unit on the case and violent crimes on the case. And Jenn Soto's like, yeah, like, that is not the right reaction to come from a mother.
They are here till 4 in the morning, and then the day shift people that also work violent crimes come in around that same time, so they're going to take over. So, like, we have, like, people working till a certain time, and then other people coming and taking over, okay? So, like I said, just because I physically am not here doesn't mean that we're not still working on something. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if Detective Tackler asked, but yesterday when you guys were out looking, do you remember what time you were out looking till?
So yesterday, I stayed in the office. My family went out searching.
Which office?
1355. Yeah.
You stayed until what time?
I'm gonna say somewhere between 8 and 9 o'clock. I left and then I came home.
You came straight here.
Yeah.
And then who was out? Your family was out looking?
Yeah, but I think they all stopped when. Actually, I'm not sure. One of my uncles might have kept searching along the trail, but I'm not sure until what time he was out. My dad as well.
What about Stefan?
Stefan went out sometime in the middle of the night and went searching, cruising around to see if he could figure out where she might be.
So why does she differentiate between searching and cruising around? Went cruising around to figure out where she might be. Because that's just really odd, and I can't figure out what's going on here with her saying this, other than she knows that he was driving, he wasn't searching, and that there may be CCTV footage perhaps.
What car was he driving?
My car.
Was anybody driving Stefan's car?
No, just Stefan.
Now that to me is really significant also. In a different interview, Jenn has said that she does not allow Stearns to drive her car because of the insurance. Now, they've asked her which car he went out in. She said he went out in her car. And then they've asked her, was anyone driving Stearns' car? And she says, no, just Stefan. So does that mean both vehicles were out and about that night? Because that changes things completely again. Did Stefan drive his car and she drove her car, but now she's trying to say for some reason that he drove her car out. Just an interesting observation. Either way, it doesn't make sense for him to have taken her car, and we know where he went. We know that he went back to where Maddie was, or whoever was driving that vehicle went back to where Maddie was. So, do we know it was Stearns? How do we know that it wasn't Jenn Soto? And this slip up with, no, he drove his car. Did they both go out in separate cars? Or is it just some kind of confusion, some slip up? And what she meant to say was, no, only he drives that car ever. I've never driven that car. So it would have only been her car, if that makes sense.
What time was he out?
I have no idea. I fell asleep. But I know he drove my car because when I got into it, I said, "Oh, the seats adjusted. Did you drive my car?" He goes, "Yeah, remember I said I was going to take a drive tonight to go search for her because he does have like insomnia. He can't sleep at night sometimes, and especially like that's what's going on right now."
Here's the other reason why I question that it was Stearns driving that car. She's suddenly offering up way too much information. Generally, when someone is offering up that much information, they're lying. They're not telling the full story. So I suspect here that when that vehicle went out at 3 a.m. in the morning, that it wasn't Stearns driving that vehicle. She's giving, and this is from someone who claimed to be so muddle-headed because of her meds, and yet suddenly she's giving them this very precise story. Yes, I know he took my car because the seat was pushed back, and I said this, blah, blah, blah. So she's gone into great detail here, instead of just saying, yeah, he took my car. So she's really trying to hammer on that narrative here that it was Stearns driving her car and not her.
But I'm not sure what time he may have come in or out. But if you guys look at my gate clicker, you need that to come in the front gate. You can see what times he may have come in and out.
Okay.
So yeah, that is a useful bit of information. If you check on the clicker, you can find out what time the gate was opened and shut, as to you'll be able to know when he came and went. So going back to the talk of there possibly being two cars that were out that night, if you went in two separate cars, you would still only need to open the gate once. Get both cars through, shut the gate. Same again, coming back. So it is possible here that what she was saying about no, Stefan drove his car, that was a bit of a leakage that wasn't meant to happen.
I don't think I have anything else for you. We're gonna clear some things with Stefan, and then I will let you know before I head out. Okay? Do you promise that everything you said today is true?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks for listening. As I mentioned in the previous video, my next Jennifer Soto video will be going through a Stefan Stearns interview where nearly everything he says seems to contradict everything that Jenn Soto has said here. So that will be next in my list of Jennifer Soto things. Please hit the like button. Also, please leave a comment below. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe.